Yeah, the interview. How'd that go? I think it went pretty well. I mean, I won't know until I get the results, but.
Everybody talks to her about this. I mean, I really like her. I seriously do. I mean,
I didn't put out with it. That's my little bro's big sis.
Really?
Yeah, really? Yeah, she's cool. She's cool.
This guy's in trouble. Quick, call 911. We need an ambulance.
They're just up there rattling each other.
Let's switch over and watch the news and sports.
Rescue 21 to Sheriff 1. Sheriff 1, go ahead.
Preparing a case against members of a Rutgers University fraternity after pledge night drinking ended in death. Richard Roth reports.
It was supposed to be a festive evening for 18-year-old James Callahan at a Rutgers University fraternity. He was to be initiated. Instead, the ceremony may have cost him his life. As part of the Lambda Chi Alpha Fraternity initiation, Callahan and 13 other pledges were reportedly ordered to drink until they got sick.
Anybody in that fraternity house on that particular day, at that particular evening when this occurred, is a individual that we want to talk to.
The fraternity house was padlocked shut, and Rutgers University banned parties at all other fraternity and sorority houses.
We're talking about people making choices, and they made the wrong choice, obviously.
The prosecutor refused to say who, if anyone, inside the fraternity house would face charges in the death of James Callahan. Assessing the blame may be difficult. The prosecutor says there is a fine line between a person doing something voluntarily or being obligated to because of peer pressure. Richard Roth, CNN, New Brunswick, New Jersey.
What a waste.
Jeez, what a stupid way to go. 18 years old.
Well, it'll never happen here.
Really?
Did you catch the news?
No, but I heard about it.
Yeah, and we're going to keep hearing about it over and over and
that's
over.
fine. I don't want anybody dying here.
Yeah.
Look, guys, I've been thinking about that news story, and I think we need to sit down and take the time and discuss how it's going to affect us.
Look, some guy died. I mean, I'm real sorry he died, but that was a long way off. How's that going to affect us here?
It was the way he died, man. It shouldn't have happened. We can't let it happen. I don't want to go to any of your guys' funeral.
You might ought to consider that nasty word liability. Just read the papers. Everybody's suing everybody, especially when there's alcohol involved.
Exactly. International headquarters has policies to help prevent this type of thing, and I think we need to review them. Just be sure to allow plenty of time for this week's chapter meeting. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order. Okay, we have a lot to discuss today and not a lot of time. Some of you might have heard about the Lambda Chi who died suddenly. There's a strong possibility that it was alcohol-related. I've heard some of you discussing it and saying that it can't happen here. We need to make sure that it doesn't happen here and to take every precaution possible. We first need to consider why we're all here and why we joined Lambda Chi Alpha. There's plenty other fraternities, but we all chose this one. Maybe it's because our father belonged, or a friend, or maybe it's just because we like the house. Whatever the reason, you and I agreed to join together to pursue some worthwhile goals. I've asked Sherman and Brian to help me discuss the Lambda Chi policies of alcohol awareness. Sherman, you have the floor.
Thanks, Jerry. First, a little history. Lambda Chi Alpha was one of the first fraternities to take a stand concerning alcohol abuse. This was back in the late 60s, before MAD, before the dram shop laws, and before the raising of the drinking age. When you became an associate member, you learned from the Constitution and bylaws that Lambda Chi as a fraternity places great importance on the responsible use of alcohol. Major alcohol awareness presentations are a regular part of Lambda Chi Alpha's General Assemblies and leadership seminars. Alcohol awareness workshops are also incorporated into the fraternity's 12 regional conclave gatherings that are held each year. The chapter consultant re-emphasizes the program during his twice-a-year visitations to each chapter. Now, I think we're all realistic enough to know that some people are going to misuse alcohol, and that we're not going to toe the line necessarily because someone in some office says that we should. Today we're going to discuss what can happen if we don't pay attention, if we don't follow policy. Brian has some pretty sobering information about consequences.
To begin, let's consider consequences from a purely selfish angle. The main word here is liability. The subject has been discussed at many leadership seminars and general assemblies. It's important that we understand what we're responsible for if someone gets hurt in the fraternity or during a fraternity-sponsored event. Some of you have seen Chapter on Trial, the video that was produced by the National Office, or you might have been at the leadership seminar in Memphis and seen the mock trial that was staged. It concerned the death of a student after drinking too much at a fraternity party. The trial brings out several elements of responsibility you might not even think about. The people who helped plan the party, who approved it, who bought the liquor, and who did or did not try to stop their brother from drinking too much. There have been many cases where anyone involved in alcohol-related injury or death has been held responsible to some degree. Just from a practical point of view, incidents like this raise our insurance rates, which increases our dues. From a personal point of view, this type of accident could affect your whole life. Fines, suspension from school, even the possibility of prison, not to mention the fact of watching a friend die. The chapter could be disbanded and the house shut down, and all from just not using our heads. The drinking age now is 21, and that adds a special burden to the chapter if our functions include drinking. Anyone who serves liquor to a minor is breaking the law, and anyone who serves liquor to a minor can be held accountable. Well, that's the practical side. Personally, I feel that we older members have a strong measure of responsibility to our new members. Our attitudes are their guidelines. We know the rules and we know the consequences. Now, what do we do to protect ourselves, our brothers, and our guests?
Rather than just reading off a list of rules or giving you a Xerox copy of someone else's idea, I think we should open the floor to suggestions.
I guess it would help to make sure we plan parties more carefully. Know everyone who's going to be here, and that way we don't have any unnecessary surprises.
Okay, start with a guest list. No open parties.
If the problem's alcohol abuse, don't buy alcohol.
Never buy alcohol with fraternity funds. And what if someone wants to bring their own bottles?
Check IDs.
It's a thankless job, but a lot better than being cross-examined at a court because someone got hurt at the party.
How about a designated driver, someone who will not drink and walk around the party and just watch out for trouble?
And food, lots of it.
Those of us who breathe through 6 weeks of homemaking in junior high, we can add high-protein, non-salty, or water-based foods. And if they don't like vegetables, we'll just load them up with dip.
When it gets right down to it, less alcohol is a lot cheaper anyways, and I don't mind not paying for kegs for everyone on campus.
I think that's another thing to remember. Our main responsibility is to our members. We're not a party house for the rest of the campus. Anything else? There may be some points we haven't covered, but I think we've got the basics. And you know none of this is new information. As Sherm said, Lambda Chi Alpha has been promoting dry rush and non-alcoholic functions for 20 years. We're not saying don't drink, we're saying drink responsibly. Not just for the chapter, but for yourself as well. Making the right decision could save your life.
Alcohol-related injury and death must be made a thing of the past. It has no place in the Brotherhood of Lambda Chi Alpha. We cannot tolerate an attitude that encourages alcohol abuse. It jeopardizes our strength of character, our friendships, and our future, both personally and as a fraternal organization. If one of our brothers has a problem, please don't ignore it. Talk with him. Encourage responsibility and self-control. Our opposition to alcohol abuse must be more than just image. It must be based on substance. It must be believed and practiced at every level. And it must start with you.
If I were to repeat what George has just told you, it would be worth our time. But the reality is, you have to believe it. As a chapter, you have to now face the reality of alcohol abuse. Our society has a problem. We're either part of the problem or we're part of the solution. Lambda Chi Alpha has been recognized as one of the greatest fraternities in the world. Our ideals and our standards are some of the highest. We're now at the point of having to face the priority that human life is of the highest essence. One of the things that we must do is that we must create an environment inside our chapter that will produce the elimination of alcohol abuse and illegal drinking. I'm not asking you to be your brother's keeper. I'm asking for more than that. I'm asking that you be your brother's brother. Surely one of the things that you would want to do for a brother is to increase the quality of life and the length of life. If we're to do this, we're going to have to do it together. Such a challenge. But after all, isn't that what brotherhood's all for?